All right, hey, Vikings fans, welcome into another episode of the Skol Hop. I'm Evan.
I'm Austin.
We're just a couple of dudes from Iowa. We like drinking beer, talking about the Vikings.
Yeah, we do. And what is it, episode 53 already?
53, baby.
All right, so for episode 53, we have our last remnants of the beer that we got from the Skol Hop, episode 50. This one's from House Divided Brewery in Ely, Iowa. An hour or so away from here.
Yep.
And this is the Whole Latte Love. It's a blonde stout, and it's one of the only light beers I've had that's a coffee flavored beer. So we'll get into it a little bit more here in a minute, but we've had it before and I liked it a lot on the brew hop. So yeah. I'm really glad we brought some home.
It's going to be delicious. I'm excited for it.
Oh, yeah.
But first, let's pay the bills really quick. We'll give a shout out to our sponsor, Big Top Ventures. They can get you the lowest rate possible on several all-inclusive resorts in Mexico or Jamaica. Big Top Ventures, step right up to your next big adventure. And we'll have their email right down here. It's also linked below in the description as well. So make sure you hit them up if you're interested in hitting up an all-inclusive in Mexico or Jamaica.
Yeah. I just got a message from Brian from Big Top today. He said somebody reached out to him and asked him about around 100-person reservation. And he was like, dude, I don't know what to do. And I was like, jackpot, let's go. So yeah, people like what he does, and I like it too. So you need to do it.
Were they Skol Hop listeners? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. We need to figure it out.
What we also need to do is we need to crack these open and drink these.
I'm very excited about this one. It's a good looking can, and again, usually the coffee flavored beers are the darker stouts, and that's fine. I love coffee. I usually want my coffee just to be black, so usually flavored coffee things I'm not a fan of, but some coffee beers are really good. So, and again, we've had this one. I know for a fact that I like this one, but let's crack it open.
As soon as we crack it open, it's gonna smell like coffee in here.
Yes,
guarantee it. Oh yeah. I like that. That's nice.
You like that? I don't even know if we can say that. Maybe.
But you will notice that it is a blonde stout. So it is officially a stout. That is the classification. You had a way better pour than I did.
Oh, yeah. Blonde stout. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot lighter color. If you just showed me this beer and said, hey, what kind is it? Stout would be one of the last things I'd guess. I kept, when we were at the brewery talking to the brewer, I kept calling it a Pilsner, and eventually he kindly corrected me and said, yeah, it's a stout. But yeah, it's really light for a stout. It's still got a darker-ish color to it. Not very hazy. You can see through it. I guess there's a 1 or a 2 level hazy to it, but
the thing that hits you the most, though, especially after a pour, is that coffee smell.
Yeah, and we both love that smell. That's such a great smell. So let's just not belittle this even longer. So Skol.
Oh yeah, that's just as good as I remember it.
House Divided. We had a lot of good beers from there, and all of them were great. But
I think we probably tried 6 or 7 different ones because we both got 4 cup flights.
Yeah.
So,
but this one, I mean, it's got to be my favorite from House Divided. It's really good. That brewery, too. How about that brewery? That place is awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah. Small little town. There are people pulling up in their side-by-sides and their,
golf carts.
Yeah, little golf carts. And
yep.
That seemed like an awesome place. So the stereotypical Iowa little hangout spot, but that brewery was awesome, and I would go back there in a heartbeat.
We got a chance to kind of talk to the brewer a little bit, and I think he's the owner and the brewer. Kind of a one-man operation. It's really small, but man, he cranks out some really good beer.
Mm-hmm. So. And friend of the show, Forrest, who's our resident beer expert, when I mentioned House Divided to him, he was like, "Oh, I love that place." He's been there too. It's been a while for him, but yeah, I guess House Divided is more well known than I thought, but go check it out if you haven't before. It's really worth it.
Good stuff. Well, we're gonna sip on these
beer,
and
this beer is 2 of your things mixed in one.
This Skol.
Skol.
As soon as we pop these things open, it's just the coffee aroma filled this little bubble around our little Skol Man center here, and it was awesome. I mean, before we even took a sip, it was just
Yeah, because we
coffee
did
smell.
before we hit record. We were kind of just chatting for a while, and at one point, I almost like reached up and just opened it because like I was so ready for it, and then I was like, "Oh crap, we haven't even started the podcast yet." So we had to get started.
But I mean, we both remembered how good this was when we had it in just a tiny little sample glass when we were at House Divided, and now we got to enjoy a few.
Yeah,
and I am not at all disappointed that this was the last and final beer that we saved from our brew hop tour. It's pretty awesome.
I would make the drive. It's probably about an hour drive from where we are.
A long hour. Yeah.
I would absolutely make that drive for this beer alone. People say like they'll make the drive to Wisconsin for Spotted Cow and stuff, which Spotted Cow is a good beer. Moon Man's a good beer. You know, there are some beers that people travel for. I would travel for this beer. This is a solid beer. It's a good beer, and it's a good coffee beverage, which we both love beer. We both love coffee. For me, it hits all the points. And for it not to be an IPA, and for me to still like it this much, like that's saying something, because I love the hops, and there's just beer here. It's awesome.
I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were there, we were talking to them. We were talking to both kind of the head brewer and one of the gals that bartends quite frequently there. And I think they said this is one of their more higher selling beers.
If it wasn't their best seller, I'd be shocked because it's just so good. Yeah. And that's after having a handful of their other beers too, which were phenomenal. That place is amazing. I wish we were closer to that place because I would go there all the time.
I agree.
And that's House Divided, by the way, in Ely. House
Divided. Of course, we'll link down to all their stuff below. Check them out. If you're anywhere close to the Cedar Rapids area, it's less than a 10-minute drive from Cedar Rapids. We made it in 10 minutes from Lionbridge Brewery.
Okay.
I remember because we went right from Lionbridge to Ely to House Divided. And it was pretty close. So if you're in that area, it's pretty close to the interstate. Pretty close to I-380 as you're driving through that area. Hit them up. Worth the trip for sure.
We need to go back.
Yes, we do.
Whether it's officially on the Brew Hop 2.0 or we just go because we liked it.
We're going to be heading up that way for the Iowa Podcast Awards.
We might have to drive by.
Maybe.
Might have to drive by.
Maybe. Maybe we'll stop in and say hello and grab a few cans of beer while we're there. That one got a little sticky on the bottom, but that's all right.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, if people wanted to say hello to us, how would they do that?
They would do that pretty much anywhere they can say hello to us. Social media, find us, the Skol Hop, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, even though we don't do a whole lot there.
Just Google the Skol Hop. You'll find everywhere. Our website, all our socials, everything. Yep. Yeah, we're there.
Or email us, theskolhop@gmail.com.
Yeah, we haven't gotten an email in a while. I feel kind of left out. Yeah. JK used to email us every once in a while. Yeah, we haven't heard from you in a while. So
anybody can email us. I mean, you know our email address. So hit us up. Let us know if there's an Iowa beer that we can try, because we're starting to kind of run low on Iowa beers that are available to us here locally in our kind of eastern Iowa Quad Cities area. And yeah, we're excited to go on this Iowa Podcast Awards. That's going to be a lot of fun.
2 things for me really quick.
Go for it.
1, I think we still stand on our rule where if you send us an email and you want it, we will send you one of our stickers, at least one of our stickers. We're starting to accumulate, and we've mentioned this before and it's never really happened, but we're starting to accumulate some stuff for a giveaway. We need to make that happen pretty early in the season. So that's number 1. If you email us, we will send you a sticker and say thank you for the email. 2, we are going to this Iowa Podcast Awards September 15th, and we feature an Iowa beer on each podcast. We would love, if you're a brewer or if you know of a brewery or you're connected to any brewery in any way, we'd love to feature a specific Iowa brewed beer on that live episode where we're going to have people in front of us. I'm just going to go off the assumption that they'll be okay with us cracking a few cold ones in that place. If you are a brewer or a brewery or connected to one and you'd want your beer featured on that episode, let us know, because we definitely want to feature an Iowa podcast in the Iowa Podcast Awards, an Iowa brewed beer on our live episode. That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll definitely prioritize any brewery that reaches out to us with hopes of featuring a beer on that episode when we go live from the Iowa Podcast Awards. I think it would be a win-win. It would be a win for us. It would be a win for the brewery, just for the added exposure and attention and all that. So.
And who knows? If nothing else, maybe we just stop by House Divided on our way up there and we grab a few brews.
We could. There are several breweries that we stopped by on the brew hop that we could hit on our way up to the Iowa Podcast Awards, and several that if we took like an alternative route, we could hit those as well.
For sure.
So even if you're not on our route, hit us up. Let us know. If you need to ship us a box of beer, we'll make sure it's cold before we set up and record on Sunday the 15th.
Yeah. And if you want a cool shirt, go to our website. We sell shirts. Evan's modeling it right now. It comes in some different colors. I'm not wearing it right now. I thought about it, but I'm not. I went with the duck, gray duck.
A nice Minnesota themed shirt, though. I like it.
Yeah. All right, man. That's all I can think of. Do you have anything else?
No, it was a great episode. I had a lot of fun. Great beer, obviously.
Yeah.
Great chat. And, I mean, next week we're going to have more to talk about with preseason game number 2.
Yeah. You could argue best episode yet?
I'd say so.
Skol.
Skol.
Hey Vikings fans, Evan here from the Skol Hop, and we just wanted to say thank you again so much for listening to the Skol Hop, and we also wanted to take one more opportunity to let you know that this episode of the Skol Hop has been brought to you by Big Top Ventures. If you're considering taking an all-inclusive trip to either Mexico or Jamaica, reach out to our friends at Big Top Ventures at bigtopventuresllc@gmail.com. Once again, that's bigtopventuresllc@gmail.com. You can get the lowest rate possible on several all-inclusive resorts throughout the region. Big Top Ventures. Step right up to your next big adventure. And thanks again for listening to the Skol Hop. Skol.